Monday morning. Let's take a look at what we've lined up for you on today's show.
Today, Dr. Dan Thompson visits with Dr. Susan Nelson, an associate clinical professor in the Pet Health Center at K-State's Veterinary Health Center. They'll be talking about flea and tick control for your pets. Learn about the health problems and diseases that can be transmitted by fleas and ticks, why year-round prevention is recommended, and how to keep those pesky parasites off your dog and cat. Stay tuned for this and more after the break. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, dressing Northeast Kansas their Western best for almost 60 years.
Well, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks.
Thanks. It's always good to have you here. This is Dr. Susan Nelson. She is an associate clinical professor in the Veterinary Health Center here at Kansas State University, and we're going to talk about fleas and ticks.
Yes, we are.
Today, and dogs, and if we have time, cats. But, you know, can you just kind of kickstart us on, you know, what are some of the things, what are they, why are they important?
Right. Okay, so I think most people know the difference between fleas and ticks. Fleas are the little things, get in your carpet, get on dogs. They can cause a lot of problems. They can spread some diseases, but primarily, if your dog's allergic to them, we get a lot of hair loss. The bites can get secondarily infected. And if the numbers grow enough in your home, they may even affect you or the rest of your family members. Ticks are just gross. I think we all know that. They just give me the heebie-jeebies. But
That's
anyway,
right.
They're a little bit bigger and easier to spot for most people. They transmit in this area. There's several diseases that dogs can get from the ticks, so we need to watch out for those. Some of them can be very serious if they're not treated. And then there again, they can make them uncomfortable. Both of those ingest blood from the pet, from that dog, and so if it's severe enough, if they have enough, they can be anemic from those. And so the list just kind of goes on and on and on. These are bad things to have.
What about times of the year? Are there certain times of the year that this is more of an issue with fleas or ticks?
You know, in this area, we definitely see some seasonal jumps and increases in the numbers, but anymore, the way the climate's, especially the past couple of years, has been pretty warm and mild, I'm a believer of year-round. I see these animals, we see a lot of them come in that have been outdoors, not on flea and tick preventive in the winter, coming in with fleas. I'll say I'll probably see more fleas in the winter, but if it warms up sooner than later, we're going to see ticks earlier like we did last year, and with a mild winter, a large number of ticks in that spring coming in. But I would generally say year-round, with ticks really peaking in the spring, another late bloom in the fall. They'll hang around through the summer, fleas all through the summer, and then in this area, fall is where they really tend to peak and cause some problems.
Bloom.
Yep.
What about the barn cat? I mean, we talked a little bit about some of the negatives that we can have on dogs, but I assume that we have similar issues.
There are. So with the fleas, there again, flea bite anemias, hair loss, being uncomfortable. It can spread some of the diseases that cats get from biting one cat and going to another. The other thing is we see a couple of diseases with the ticks. One is cytozoonosis. It's a blood parasite that's transmitted in this area. It's about 100% fatal. It's a very... Wow. I hate seeing the cats come in with it. They look miserable. They are miserable. It's a pretty rapid death for them. Another one is tularemia, which primarily they get through eating rabbits, but we also know ticks can transmit it too. And so that's another one that your cat can get. They're getting very sick. If they're not treated with the appropriate antibiotic, it can be life-threatening for them. Plus, they can transmit it to you.
Well, very important situations, and maybe when we come back, we'll discuss a little bit about things to watch for.
Yeah.
Things, clinical signs and different things like that.
Sounds good.
It's always great to have you here.
Thanks.
We appreciate you watching Doc Talk as well. After the break, more with Dr. Susan Nelson on flea and ticks in dogs and cats. You're watching Doc Talk, and we're sure glad you joined us.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Kansas Pork Association, assisting producers and informing.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Roy Fry Western Lifestyles brings the cowboy or cowgirl out in all of us. With a huge selection of must-have items, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for your horse, picking up some Western accessories to add that rustic charm to your home, or simply treating yourself. The knowledge and expertise to dress you your Western best is right here at Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue in Topeka.
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Stop by or visit us at sftmeats.com.
Hi there and welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Susan Nelson, who is an associate clinical professor here in the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University. And we're talking about fleas and ticks. We've talked about some of the different diseases that these parasites can transmit to our dogs and cats. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things, let's start out with fleas. What are some of the things that I need to be looking for if I suspect my dog has fleas?
Okay, so things you need to look for if you think your dog has fleas. The obvious is they're itching. There's a lot of dogs who are allergic to the flea bites. And then hair loss, especially hair loss over the rump. So over the backside, over the rump is a very common spot. You might see it down the inside of the legs, backside of the legs. Those are more common ones. Those of you who may have litters of puppies at home, these guys can get severe anemia. So can adults, but especially these little guys where there's so many fleas on them. You look at their gums and they're just white. They're so anemic, and they can die from a severe flea infestation. So
the allergy to the fleas, the dermatitis, that's going to result in the hair loss?
Right.
Okay. And redness or things like that?
Crust, yep.
Okay. And then what about, I mean, on ticks, of course, we're going to find the tick on the dog. You know, you got the little ones and then the big gray ones and different things to that nature. But are there other things that we should be looking at as far as clinical signs?
Yeah.
And if I pick a bunch of ticks off my dog?
You may find a little bit of hair loss, but primarily we're probably looking for them, maybe anemia too, but other illnesses that they can get, some of these tick-borne illnesses. Around here in this area in the Midwest, we have ehrlichiosis, which is a type of blood parasite. These guys can run fevers, have lameness, and just in general not feel very good. Lyme disease, which right in this area we don't see as much, but we do see it primarily in dogs east of here. There again, the fever, the shifting leg lameness problems there. And then we do see some Rocky Mountain spotted fever. These guys are really sick, high fevers, not doing well. They get very ill very quickly going on.
So the big thing is if I pull a bunch of ticks off my dog and all of a sudden it's starting to be listless, lame, not acting right, running a fever, it's time to get them in.
Yes, and you should see your veterinarian. The other thing is sometimes there is a tick paralysis that dogs can get. So we may have dogs that just can't get up and walk. It's a progressive paralysis. So getting those ticks off, going to your vet and getting the appropriate treatment.
Sooner
than later.
Yeah.
It's always better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what about our cats, the barn cats and different things like that? You know, what are some of the things that I need to be looking for clinically?
Yeah, so for the fleas, there again, the hair loss, the scratching, the redness. The other thing I forgot to mention with dogs and cats, if they eat a flea, they can get infested with tapeworms. So you may actually see, so you may actually see tapeworms. I get a lot of people all grossed out because the cat was on the sofa and got up and there's these little worms crawling around. So, or people see things that look like little pieces of rice or cucumber seeds on the hairs around the hind ends. So they can also get tapeworms from those. So watch out for signs of tapeworms. With the tick-borne diseases, cats, they start running, the couple that we see primarily, they run a really high fever. They might get yellow in the eyes. They are sick cats.
Wow. Well, a lot of things to look for. It's important that we control them.
Yes.
And then when we come back, let's talk about some of the treatments that our veterinarians will most likely prescribe when we do get some of these illnesses, and then we'll come back and wrap up with making sure we know how to prevent it.
That sounds good.
Appreciate you being here.
Alrighty.
We appreciate you watching Doc Talk. After the break, more with Dr. Susan Nelson.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
We've been using the Multi-Min on our donor cows, and after we started using it on them, we've seen a definite increase in grade number 1 embryos. I like the results that I get using Multi-Min with the AI conception rate.
Their minerals not up to snuff, you're going to have problems, and I definitely think Multi-Min is good for, general healthiness of the cattle.
We think Multi-Min more than pays for itself.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas, or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Susan Nelson, and we're talking about flea and tick control and treatment. And Dr. Nelson is an associate clinical professor here at the Veterinary Health Center. And Dr. Nelson, my dog has fleas.
Yes.
And I bring it in there. I had a person actually bring one to me and set it on my kitchen table when I was in practice and say, "What do I do about this?" And they're like, "Let's get it out of the house first." But what are some of the things that we need to do?
Yeah, well, we need to get rid of the fleas. So let's start with on the dog. First of all, especially if your pet's really infested, I would go speak to your veterinarian, because there's a lot of products. Most of you know out there, there's shelves. You can just get dizzy by looking at everything that's out there. So finding the appropriate thing for your dog, what works in your area, and if it has any other problems like ticks that you need to address too. There are a lot of good oral preventives that are out there that work really well. Some work for short duration, some work for about 30 days, and then there's a whole bunch of different spot-on applications that are generally every 30 days for our pets. So getting that dog treated, getting it there. Baths don't work so good. They definitely don't help keep them from getting back on. Some of the over-the-counter medications and the flea collars really don't work that well. There's some newer veterinary flea collars that are different that do work a little better. But my best advice is speak to your vet about what will work the best for your dog.
Okay. Well, we go from the pet to now they're in my house and the environment. And so what are some of the things that you can do to get those fleas out of your house or out of the environment?
Yeah, one of the best things you can do is vacuum, vacuum, vacuum. Better if you have the little beater brush on your vacuum to pick those up. Make sure you either freeze that bag to kill off everything or throw it way out where nothing's going to get to it. Do not put flea powders in your carpet and vacuum those back up. Sometimes those aerosolize up with the vacuum, so it's not good to inhale those.
Oh, the safety part of it.
Yeah, so vacuuming is one of the biggest things. There are sprays. I usually recommend an area spray where you can direct it where you want it versus a fogger, which may just kind of go up and down and not really get under the cushions and things. Hot spots are where your animal lays and spends the majority of their time. Obviously, pets are all over the house, but they usually have special sleeping places.
Right.
That's where the majority of your eggs and some of these other juvenile stages are going to be and where you need to really focus your attention.
So that's where you'll take that spray and spray that area and then vacuum, vacuum, vacuum.
Yeah, and so the other thing is if you have maybe look outside. Did you have new critters move in under the porch or something like that? That's a reservoir where your pet keeps picking them up and bringing them into the house. So you also have to kind of look outside sometimes also. For real bad infestations, deep steam cleaning the carpet might be indicated too, and possibly even an exterminator for the really bad cases.
Yep. So it's important to note that when you treat your pet, that's part of the equation.
That's part of it.
And then the second half is making sure we get them out of the environment.
Yeah. Yep.
So, prevention, you know, or wait, ticks on the treatment. You know, one of the things is we know we're going to pull those off. Is it okay to just squash them?
No, Dr. Dan, it's not okay to squash them. The reason why is if they are carrying some of these bad things, those can aerosolize, go in the air, and you inhale them, and you can get infected with some of these diseases. So not a good idea. So maybe we should talk about that next time at the next segment and see what we need to do.
Sounds like a winner. You're watching Doc Talk. Dr. Susan Nelson here from Kansas State University. We're sure glad you joined us, and we'll be back after the break. Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
I'm Dennis Tebow. My wife and I, Kathy, are the owners of Wolf Creek Cattle Company. We have grown to approximately 70 bulls.
I'm Reese Arnold. I'm the livestock manager at Wolf Creek Cattle Company. You know, these are not just like normal cattle. These cattle, they're hauled anywhere from, 8 to 10 hours a day across the United States and asked to perform. The Multi-Man 90 keeps them kind of level. It maintains and balances their system. The stress level is less when, when everything's right and working right, then they're working right.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Hi there, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson and Dr. Susan Nelson here from Kansas State University, and Dr. Nelson is Associate Clinical Professor here in the Veterinary Health Center, and we're talking about flea, ticks, and treatment. And when we left, what is the proper way to remove and dispose of a tick?
Okay, so it's best if you do wear gloves, because if you do have any cracks or anything on your hands and that tick pops, you can also get some of those bacteria and problems in that way through your bloodstream. So then you want to kind of grab closely to that skin and slow and steady. Don't yank, because when you do that, sometimes the head stays buried, it pulls off, it detaches, and then it can still be a problem and cause some infection with them where that is. So slow and steady, put them in jar alcohol to kill them. Don't pop them, don't light a match. Do not put kerosene on your dog or gasoline. Those are all bad things to do to try to remove ticks. So
just manually remove them, and then get rid of them.
That is correct.
All right. Well, let's move on and kind of wrap up today by talking about some of the things that you recommend, and we always recommend you work with a local veterinarian.
Mm-hmm.
But what are some of the general preventative things for fleas and ticks? And then let's talk about the differences in dogs and cats.
Yeah. So if you're having both problems, fleas and ticks, most of what you're going to use is probably going to be one of the spot-ons that's available. There are some sprays too, but they're every 30 days. They do a decent job. You still need to check daily for fleas and ticks on your pets and remove those though, because nothing's 100%, especially ticks. Those things are stubborn, they're hard to kill, and it takes several hours to kill those. So still look for manual removal on those. And then if it's just fleas, there's an oral product that works really well for keeping fleas under control for 30 days, very fast onset, kills the fleas very quickly. Or your dog's allergic to fleas, it's a great product. But there's so many good things out there, and there again, work with your veterinarian, see what they think would be best for your dog and what works the best in your area, because sometimes what works in one area may not work in another.
And then just right now, depending on what your climate is, in those moderate climates in the winter, probably just keep them on.
Yes, that is a very good point. Year-round prevention. You're going to avoid those big blooms of fleas and trying to get them under control in your house if you just stick with the monthly prevention.
Yeah, and that way you're not starting too late. And
a lot of times, in the long run, it's better on your budget too.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. What about cats?
Yeah, so cats, we have a lot of good products out there. Unfortunately, not as many choices as we do for dogs, especially for ticks. We have a lot of flea choices for cats, but for ticks, we're a little bit limited. So best thing for cats, keep them indoors away from the ticks. Otherwise, if you have an indoor-outdoor cat, a barn cat, scour them daily and look for these ticks. And also, one point I would make is do not put dog preventives on cats. Cats are not little dogs, and so some of these products can kill the cats if you put them on.
Well, it's really great information. Treatment, prevention is the key, and work with your local veterinarian. Any closing comments on fleas and ticks?
Well, I would say too that outdoor, we didn't really touch much on that. Keep your lawn mowed down. So try to rake out organic debris. The fleas like it in the shade and where it's cool and where there's a lot of leaves. Ticks like that taller grass. So keep your lawn manicured, keep the debris out, and that'll help keep some of those down outside too.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
Appreciate you being here. We appreciate you watching Doc Talk. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian, and if you want to know more about what Dr. Nelson and I do here at K-State, you can find us on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. You've been watching Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here from Kansas State University. We're sure glad you joined us, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
We'll have lots more for you tomorrow on Ag AM in Kansas. We're here every weekday, same time, same station. Or look for us on the web at agaminkansas.com. Eric Atkinson here from K-State Research and Extension.